If you are an aspiring journalist and you're watching this video, I'm begging with you. Not begging, I'm pleading with you to not just watch, but study Piers Morgan. Study the hell out of Piers Morgan. Because this man, in the history of journalism, in the history of the profession, journalism has been around for a long time. It's one of the oldest professions in the history of the world. I'm just making that up, but I'm pretty sure it is. I haven't fact-checked it, but I'm pretty sure journalism is one of the oldest professions in the history of the world. Well, Piers Morgan, in the history of journalism, he's one of the best ever at his job. I would say top 3. He's in the Mount Rushmore of journalists. And he proved it once again in his most recent interview with none other than Cristiano Ronaldo. This man in this interview put on a masterclass. It was like Messi against Man United in 2011, the journalism version of it. Honestly, it was. He's asking the real cutting-edge questions that other journalists are afraid to ask because, quite frankly, they're afraid the interviewee is going to react in a negative way. But guess what? Piers Morgan, the journalist, the interviewer, he doesn't give a fuck about the interview and how he feels because he's there to do a job and ask the questions that he wants to ask. He doesn't care if the guy gets uncomfortable or the girl gets uncomfortable. He's there to do a job. And again, I'm telling you guys this because I care about you. I want you guys to succeed. If you're an aspiring journalist, take notes. Watch the whole interview between Piers and Ronaldo and take notes. And look at this man operate. He is one of one. He's a master of his craft. And if you don't believe me, let me just read you some of the quotes that came out of the interview that really caught my eye. And again, you can learn a lot from this, guys. You can learn a lot from this. This is the first one. Not even a question from Piers, just a statement. He says, this is by the way, he's saying this to Ronaldo. You are the most famous, most richest, and most successful footballer in history. Just stating the obvious. Like, just telling him things that he wants to hear. That's literally journalism 101. It's sales 101. I'm in sales. When you're selling to somebody, you want to tell them things that they want to hear. You want to just like glaze them a little bit because it loosens them up. It loosens them up. Oh, sir, that's a really nice watch. I really like your watch. I hate the watch. I think it's an ugly ass watch. But I'll tell him, hey, I really like your watch. If he's with his wife or girlfriend, hey, man, I really like your purse. I really like your shoes. Make some shit up. Make them feel good about themselves. And Piers Morgan executes it to perfection, man. This guy's a genius. And Ronaldo responds, what does he respond? Not bad. Of course it's not bad. I mean, who wouldn't want to be the richest, most successful, most famous in the history of their field? And Ronaldo understands that, it's not bad. He's pretty humble. So he's like, hey, not bad. It could be better, but we'll take that. We'll take that. The next one. This is actually a question that Piers Morgan, a journalist, asked Ronaldo. Do you think you're better looking than David Beckham? Again, Piers Morgan to Ronaldo. This is not two looks maxers on TikTok live debating each other. This is just Piers Morgan, to Ronaldo. And Ronaldo responds this. It's not only about the face. Of course, it's not just about the face. It's the whole package. Just picture me in a red Speedo on the Copacabana in Brazil, by the way. Copacabana is in Brazil. You think I won't have a chance? I don't know. That's a really, really good question. That is a question that keeps me up at night. Who's better looking between Ronaldo and David Beckham? Who would look better in a red Speedo walking down the Copacabana? Ronaldo or David Beckham? I really don't know. Ladies, gentlemen, let me know in the comment section. I've been thinking about this all day and I can't come to a conclusion of who would look better in a red Speedo between Ronaldo and David Beckham. I really don't know. But I want to know. Again, this is what Piers does to you, man. He's got me thinking all day. The next one. Cristiano Ronaldo. Physically, I look much younger than I am. I went to the gym since I was 12. Not even, Piers doesn't even ask him a question, it's just Ronaldo glazing himself. But again, Piers was able to get this out of Ronaldo because he glazed them early in the interview. You're the most richest, most famous. Again, guys, it's all, this guy's a genius. You guys understand how smart he is, okay? I wish you guys understood this like me, man. I wish you guys understood this like me. Anyway, the next one. Piers Morgan, mind if I tap your abs? Ronaldo, sure. And he taps his abs. Masterclass. Masterclass in journalism. Piers Morgan, take a bow. He's done about 15 interviews, I believe, with Ronaldo, and that is the best one. That is the best one by far. He made Ronaldo feel so comfortable. Ronaldo felt so good talking about himself because Ronaldo, as we know, barely ever gets a chance to talk about himself and how awesome he is. And Piers Morgan gave him that platform. He gave him that opportunity. And for that, I'm forever grateful to Piers Morgan. Fuck that. In all seriousness, man, this interview sucked. Enough of the jokes. This interview was terrible, man. And every single time Ronaldo does an interview and I react to it, like I reacted to the last one he did with Elo Aguirre and Chiringuito, another guy who glazed him to death, I am left perplexed and not in a good way. Do you mind if I tap your abs? What the fuck are we talking about? Walking down a red Speedo in the Copacabana, me or David Beckham. What are we doing, bro? I'm surprised every single time these two dudes sit down and do an interview together, they don't start making out and fucking penetrating each other in the middle of it. What are we doing here, bro? This is journalism for Piers Morgan. And Ronaldo, bro, for a guy who's so successful, who's accomplished so much, one of the most successful people. Piers Morgan is right, by the way. He's one of the most famous, most richest, and most accomplished people in the history of his field. But again, these interviews don't provide any value to anybody. And it makes Ronaldo look bad. And I'm going to talk about some of the football stuff he said here because I don't want to talk about the David Beckham thing. I don't give a fuck about that. Whoever is better looking in a red Speedo, that's not for me to decide. That's for the citizens of Copacabana to decide. They can decide that. I'm not part of that conversation. But I want to talk about some of the football things he said because, again, man, this guy, I've defended Ronaldo on this channel. I was known on TikTok when I first started as a Ronaldo hater because, honestly, guys, I'll be honest, it was the hustle. I had to get my name out there somehow, hating Ronaldo, get people to, like, rage baiting people, and then that way I funneled that audience over to YouTube. But now on YouTube, I'm me. This is me. This is the real me right here. And you guys know me, okay? If you guys watch my content for a long time, you guys know who I am. I'm not a Ronaldo hater. I try to be as unbiased as possible on this channel, and I've said multiple times, I think he's by far and away the second best player that I've seen. Okay? He's by far and away the second best player that I've ever seen. I think Ronaldo actually gets underrated by people nowadays because they don't realize how good he was. They see this guy now in Saudi scoring penalties. This guy in his prime was a monster like I've never seen before, bro. He put fear into my heart like no other player I've ever seen. But these interviews, man, it's so strange because this guy just wants to constantly stroke his ego and speak with people that just stroke his ego. He is like a dictator, bro. I grew up in a country with a dictator, one of the most famous dictators in the history of the world, or definitely of the past 25 years, Hugo Chavez. And Hugo Chavez was famous for only sitting down with people that he liked, that stroked his ego. Because again, when you're a narcissist, you only want to talk to people that give you that, you know, that confidence boost, that make you feel good about yourself. Because that's what narcissists want to do. They don't want to be challenged. They don't want to be questioned. They don't want any pushback from the interviewer. They just want to talk about themselves, and the interviewer eats it up. Hey, can I touch your abs? Chavez didn't have an ab. Chavez didn't have abs. He had a little fucking, like a freckle here, like a fat ass verruga, we call it. And maybe, I don't know if Chavez ever let somebody touch that. But anyway, here's some of the quotes that I actually want to talk about when it comes to football. Because again, like I said, they talk about a lot of shit in this interview. A bunch of, can I touch your abs and all this stuff. But some of the things that he said that I want to go through, it's just insane. This is the first quote that I saw that I really want to talk about. For me, it's more easy to score goals in Spain and Liga than score in Saudi. I wonder why, bro. Maybe because when you were in Spain, you were 27 years old and at the peak of your powers. Maybe that's why. And now you're 40. So when you were in Spain, you were one of the best players in the world. To me, second best. Of course it was easier for you. You were fucking 28. You were a monster. You were an athletic specimen like football had never seen. Of course it was going to be easier for you to score in Spain than it is now in Saudi because you're a shadow of yourself, bro. You're a fossil now. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but it's true, bro. If you compare Ronaldo 28 to Ronaldo now, it's not even close, bro. That guy was one of the most unplayable players I've ever seen. This guy is just a guy who, you know, he's a decent striker. But that's probably why it's easier, because now you're 40, back then you were 27. And La Liga defenders, no matter how good they were, they couldn't keep up with you. The same way they couldn't keep up with Messi, by the way. It's just so stupid. The next one, Ronaldo. How many World Cups did Argentina win before Messi? They're used to winning, but if Portugal win the World Cup, it will shock the world. This is an argument that I've never understood. Why does it matter how many World Cups Argentina won before Messi? He's not playing with the same players. It doesn't transfer over, bro. It's not an inheritance that you get. You don't just get to win the World Cup because Argentina won one in the past. Argentina won the World Cup in 1986. Messi won it in 2022. All those players, a lot of them are fucking dead. A lot of them are dead. They were not part of that team. So what are we doing here? Who cares how many World Cups Argentina won before Messi? It's about the squad that you have now. Spain never won a World Cup before. Spain had never won a World Cup prior to 2010. They had a golden generation and they won the World Cup. Why? Because they had the best players in the world. They had the best team in the world and the best coach in the world. Like, Ronaldo has had squads that were capable of winning the World Cup, but again, they didn't win it because they weren't good enough. He wasn't good enough. The team around them wasn't good enough. The coaching wasn't good enough. It wasn't because Portugal has some curse that they could because they had never won the World Cup in the past. How does that make sense to anybody, bro? Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. So does that mean that Ronaldo's UCLs are less worthy than Messi's at Real Madrid because Barca before Messi had only won one UCL and Real Madrid before Ronaldo had won what, 9 UCLs? Does that mean that Ronaldo's UCLs at Real Madrid are worth less than Messi's at Barcelona because when he got there, they were already a European giant and Barca was not a European giant when Messi came up through the ranks and made the first team from La Masia? It's the same logic, bro. But again, nobody thinks that way because Real Madrid's squad in 1998, it doesn't have any relevance to their squad in 2010 or 2014 when they won La Décima. So this is another quote that really perplexed me and I'm just like, why do people eat this shit up? Like, what type of argument is this? There's better arguments you can make as to why you never won the World Cup. And throwing subtle shots at Messi like that, like that's the thing also, bro. It's always the subtle shots at Messi. Messi always seems to come up in these interviews. I never see a Messi interview where they talk about Ronaldo, ever. I've never seen a Messi interview where Ronaldo comes up and Messi feels the need to take subtle shots at Ronaldo. But every single time I see Ronaldo do an interview, it's him throwing subtle shots at Messi and jabs at Messi and poking him. Like, why does it matter if Argentina won the World Cup before? That makes no sense to me. The next one. They should include the goals in the Saudi League when it comes to the Golden Boot winner. Newsflash, buddy, it's called the European Golden Shoe. It's literally in the name. Wikipedia, Google it. It's not just called the Golden Shoe, it's called the European Golden Shoe, which is given to players that play in Europe. It's not just for anybody to take. Why don't they just, okay, let's include people in India. Let's include people in South America. Let's include people from Boca Juniors, River Plate, and Botafogo. They should be allowed to win the Golden Boot as well. Well, the reason why they're not allowed to win it is because they're not from fucking Europe. They don't play in the continent of Europe. Europe is a continent, and the Golden Boot belongs to Europe. It's the European Golden Shoe, not the Saudi Golden Shoe, not the, Western Hemisphere Golden Shoe. It's the European Golden Shoe. That's what it's called. So fucking like what is that? Like, who cares? Like, if you are you even in contention for the Golden Shoe? No, you're not. So why the fuck do you care? Next one, Piers Morgan to Ronaldo. Again, journalism 101 here, guys. Really take notes. For me, you are the GOAT. For me, Messi's not even the Argentinian GOAT. Maradona was better than him. Cristiano, thank you. And how many World Cups did Argentina win before Messi? It's normal there. Again, the same shit. Piers Morgan, you're an idiot. Anybody still arguing whether who's the Argentinian GOAT, you have no idea what you're talking about. Maradona is one of the greatest players of all time. He doesn't come close to Messi. He doesn't come close to Messi, quite frankly. Ronaldo's closer to Messi than Maradona, in my opinion. But neither of them come close to Messi. So, again, another stupid question that he asked, or another stupid statement that he makes. Why do you feel the need to give your opinion on Messi in an interview where you're talking to Ronaldo? Why do you feel the need to talk about Messi and give your opinion on Messi and who's the Argentinian GOAT when you're talking to Ronaldo? It makes no sense to me. It makes absolutely... What's the other quote that I wanted to react to in this thing, man? There was another quote that I saw that I really wanted to react to. I think I lost it. I don't know where it is. It should be... I think it was somewhere here. I don't know. Anyway, bro. This guy is a narcissist like I've never seen. This interview really is strange to me. And like I said, he did an interview with Edu Aguirre a couple months ago that I reacted to. You can go watch. It's always the same thing over and over again. He said a couple things that I liked. He talked about Diogo Jota and why he didn't show up to the funeral, and it was because he thought he was going to get too much attention. And by the way, I respect that from Ronaldo. I don't think Ronaldo's a bad guy. I don't want this video to get misconstrued. I think Ronaldo, when it comes to the stuff he does off the pitch and how charitable he can be, and I think he's a good guy, man. And he's obviously not asking for my approval on him as a human being, but I really believe he's a good guy. I have nothing against Ronaldo personally. I just have an issue with journalism that's done like this. And Piers Morgan and I have nothing in common. When it comes to his political views, I could not be, him and I could not be further we don't see eye to eye. Let's just say that. We don't see eye to eye whatsoever. I have very strong political opinions that I don't share on this channel a lot, but trust me, I have really strong political opinions, and Piers Morgan and I just really don't align with them. But this type of journalism is not okay. Because what are we talking about here? You throwing shots at Messi, asking if you can tap his abs, talking about how great he is. Like, if you're a Ronaldo fan, you're probably going to watch this video. If you're a Madrid fan and you love Ronaldo, you're probably going to watch this video and think, wow, this guy's such a hater. And I promise you, this is not coming from a place of hate. I promise you it's not. Like I said, this guy's one of the most accomplished people in the history of the world at his field, and his field is one of the most competitive fields ever. But this type of journalism and these type of answers that he gives just gives off insecure. Nobody can tell me otherwise. It gives off major insecurities. And everybody has insecurities. Me, you, Ronaldo. It doesn't matter how much you've accomplished, how great you are, how tall you are, how handsome you are, how whatever you are. Everybody on earth has insecurities. It exists with every human. We're human. It's natural. We have flaws. We don't like everything about ourselves. There's things that we maybe are not so comfortable with in our lives that, sometimes come out when we speak and, people can tell that we're insecure about them. It's fine, bro. I'm not saying he shouldn't be insecure. But it just seems like he's bitter. Not just insecure, but bitter. And the way that he's spoken about, he doesn't like the way that he's spoken about. So he feels the need to throw shots at other people to feel better about himself. And that's not the sign of somebody that has a character that, that's not the sign of somebody who's confident in themselves. And like I said, for a guy like Ronaldo who's accomplished so much, who's made all the money in the world, who has a hot wife, who has everything he needs in life. He has praise from his peers. He has praise from the media. He has praise from people around the world for how much he's accomplished. These interviews make him look really weak and really weird to me. So that's my thoughts on this. You guys have your thoughts in the comment section down below. I love every single one of you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys on the next video. Peace out.